Yeah, especially if you're on the paint, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we got this fixed.
That's nice. Nice tone, very nice.
Yeah, and
Excellent tone.
I had to do a little more adjusting tonight. Finally got it.
You know, you said, how can I tell I'm here? My sister used to call me radar. Once I know a room, yeah.
So hopefully,
We rehearse with the cellist. Because I'll sit out there, because I can't tell if they're, you know, because I'm not used to that sound. And I'll stop. And she said, "Come on." You know, and it's going, and it's really long. I'm not that nice.
so Sandra.
Did they tell you who's on candles and drinking signs?
Yes. I was just the drinking song, not yet.
Were they waiting for a special occasion?
Chase everybody away.
So I don't know who that is yet, but eventually.
Well, it's time to start.
Oh, Stan's got to come up here. Heather, can you ask Stan to come up, please? Stan and Jonathan to come in. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On the Sabbath, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On the Sabbath, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On the Sabbath, we are reminded that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. Therefore, we welcome Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Well, shalom, everyone, and greetings. Thank you for joining us this evening in-house and online on our live stream. And I invite Sandra Heckler to light our Shabbos candles and truly kindle the start of Shabbat as we rise and turn to page 120 of our prayer books and page 1 of the Satellite Siddur for those of us joining us by live stream.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Let's continue reading together. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Let's turn to the middle of page 124 of our prayer books, and we'll read responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who
have cares to unburden.
thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. The doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
We continue together on page 128. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
May these Shabbat hours of rest and renewal, now begun, open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise for us all.
We continue on pages 142 and page 2. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And on page 144, responsively, Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Be'almad v'rach yir'utei V'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael Bagala, Bagala, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבם מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עולמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהלל, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי לקודשו בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה, ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ואמרו Amen. One more time responsively. We lead from the bima and you respond. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam vaed.
Please turn to the top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Together, creator of the time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim.
Amen. Let's now turn to the bottom of page 150 of your prayer book, and we'll read together. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'avta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shirantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'beitecha u'b'lechtecha v'derech ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Let's turn to the top of page 157 of our prayer book, or page 4 in the satellite Siddur. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood on Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. Together, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Yai lai lai la lai la lai la lai la lai. Yai lai lai la lai la lai la lai. Yai lai la lai 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 la lai. Yai la lai lai yai la lai la lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nada b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, nora tehilot osef ele. Malchutecha rovanecha, bokei ayom lefnei Moshe, zeili anu ve'amru, zeili anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'nemar ki fada et Yaakov, ugelo miyad chazak mimenu, baruch ata Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Yai lai lai la lai la lai la lai la lai. Yai la lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai.
Let's turn to the middle of page 161, page 5 in the satellite Siddur. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence our acceptance and gentle love. Together, watch over us as we go forth, prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Baruch atah Adonai, haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, haborei sukat shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
Did I miss something? Vishamru?
Or, V'shamru, he's on top of it, I'm asleep. V'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam v'rit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Please rise as we turn to page 164 in our prayer books, page 6 in the satellite Siddur, for the Tefillah, the central core of our service. We will read or say whatever is in your heart silently through page 179. Please be seated when you are done, and we'll come back together at the bottom of page 180 once everyone is seated.
Shalom b'merav uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom b'merav uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imanu amen. Ose shalom b'merav uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom b'merav uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
Please turn to the middle of page 371 of your prayer book, page 8 in the satellite Siddur. The Misha Berach prayer is for those who are in need of healing of mind, healing of body, healing of spirit. JCMI members for whom our prayers have been asked: Leah Jacobson, Joan Thompson, Bert Thompson, Bert Posner, Arthur Doxer, Frada Rossoff, Stephen Roberts, Irv Pavlow, Marvin Klein, Jonathan Greenfield, Roberta Schwartz, Jane Barron, Mary Pinto, Joanne Blau. JCMI friends and extended family from whom our prayers have been asked: Ron Duran, Dave Gordon, Albert Bierman, Robert D'Onofrio, Tal-Ora Bat Shira, Marcio Mina, Morgan Frazier, Ann Corbin, Joe Schraderer, Nick Hewitson, John Vernon, Jill Birch, Stan Klein, Chala Monasterio, Julie Fitzgerald, Susan Donahue, Margaret Gallivan, Deborah Posner, Alexandra Zito, Ruth Ann Ludolf, Tommy DiLorenzo, Jeff Hershenson. Is there anyone else that you'd like to add? Beth? Heather? Anyone else? If you please join Cantor Harry in singing the Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
I invite Frank Weinberg for tonight's Kiddush and Hamotzi as we rise and turn to page 123 of our prayer books, page 8 in our satellite Siddur.
And we rise.
This seventh day is consecrated to the eternal God. On Shabbat, eternal sign of creation, we remember that we are created in the divine image. We therefore raise the cup in thanksgiving. Baruch, let's read together in the middle of the page. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'chata ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchatanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. And while Frank is cutting,
We have a homemade challah.
and as Frank is cutting the incredible challah made one more time by Bob Jarris,
Yep.
let us join in the motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. And nobody needs to come down because we have maid service.
I think you have enough. She went to look at the sunset and head home. Yeah, I have 7 people. And a little girl. Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
This evening's parasha is going to be shared by us by Nicole Balak.
I think I'll be okay. Yeah. So, I hope I can do the story justice. I know Jane usually had her puppet donkey puppet. So we all know the story. King Balak of the Moabs goes to the sorcerer, prophet, whatever you want to call him. Does it? Okay. Now, oh, great. Okay. So he goes to Balaam because he sees this horde of Israelis coming. And he's scared. He like goes to his neighbors and he's like, "Can you help me come together? So this huge army is coming against us. We need help." And he goes to Balaam and says, "I need you to curse these guys because they're going to destroy us." So Balaam thinks about it and he talks to God. And God tells him, "No, don't go." So that's the first time. I think we should rename the story "Third Time's a Charm." So Balak's guys come back to him and say, "No." Balaam says no. And they go again. He sends them again. And he says no again. And then the third time that he sends his men, Balaam says okay. But of course, God this whole time keeps telling him, "No, don't do it." But finally, the third time, God says, "Go ahead, but you better say what I tell you to say." So he goes, and King Balak makes a funeral pyre, or not a funeral pyre, sorry, a offering. He sacrifices. He makes, I think, 7 pillars, and Balaam comes back and says, "Nope." God says, "No, I can't do it." And of course, King Balak's like, "What? You came. Why aren't you doing this?" So he makes another sacrifice, a second sacrifice. Balaam says, "No, can't do it. I can't curse these guys. God's telling me no." So he makes a third King Balak. And so Balaam comes out and he says, "I can only say what God tells me to say." And God says, "Bless Israel." Now, the third time, of course, this made King Balak very upset. I brought you here, and all you do is bless these guys and curse me? What's going on? And again, Balaam says, "I can only do what God tells me to do." And I thought this was interesting reading this story. I was like, I always thought only Jews could hear God. So I read through the story a little bit more, and I did some studying. And we believe in the rabbis that interpret the story that God did talk to everyone at one time. Well, other nations, I should say. But because Balaam came back and he played a trick on the Israelis, and he tried to get King Balak back in his good graces, he sent the Moab women to the Israelis and get them to lure them to become part of the Moabites. I think that's how you say it. And God actually did end up cursing those that went to the Moabs, the Moab women, and actually killed, and it said 24,000 Israeli men. So I guess it was a horde of Israelis that were coming, and they still won, even after all those people were slain. So I guess the other thing that I was looking at in the story that I found was interesting is that some archaeologists found a stone that does talk about Balaam. So he actually was a real guy. And this stone was written in 825 BC. And it was found in Jordan. And for those people who don't say that the Jewish people were not there before, well, that's kind of proof, I think, 825 BC. So the moral of the story is you shouldn't have to ask God 3 times. Maybe just go with the first time with what he says. I know we all do that. I know I've been praying about a lot of things lately too. I'm trying to make some major decisions in my life. And I keep saying, "Oh, please, just give me a sign. Give me a sign." So I talked to my 94-year-old grandfather last week. And he said, "Nikki, I've been praying for you to come home." And that was my sign. So that's my parsha. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. Greetings from our Board of Directors and a few announcements. I'd like to welcome visitors worshiping with us tonight, and we have a family of visitors in the back. I'd like to welcome you, and guys, can you introduce yourselves to us, please?
We are family from Prague, Republic. Oh, yeah. And Hanukkah. My name is Peter, and I'm actually vice president of the Federation of Czech Republic. Yeah.
Well, welcome to us very much. I hope you'll join us.
Rabbi, I assume you're a rabbi?
I am not the rabbi.
No, he's on
Rabbi,
vacation.
answer me in Czech. Because he translated in Google, like, you're welcome to come. So I was asking if there's any other families with kids, and he said, maybe, but.
Well, you're
I'm glad that we came. I'm coming from a city, it's called Košice, which is close to Hungary and close to Ukraine. And we have all those synagogues where my grandfather was praying. And what you have there, before you're standing, is exactly at my synagogue or at my grandfather's synagogue, which was built 14th, 15th century. So it feels nice that you're in Florida and you're coming home, even not knowing any of you. And when there was Shabbat, I was thinking about myself because I'm after like horrible accident. I was caught in the avalanche 2 years ago. I'm still recovering. So thank you for Shabbat. I came exactly at the same time. But anyway, thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We wish you a speedy recovery and welcome to the United States and to our part of paradise. Tonight's Oneg was coordinated by Joanne Blau, Mitch Braun, Bob Yaras, Heather Greenfield, Linda Reitzes, Robin Singer, and Beth Weinberg. Our lovely flowers are donated by Jonathan and Heather Greenfield in honor of Nikki's Parsha. And Nikki, thank you, it was well done. Current details of everything going on in congregational life can be found on our website, in our monthly newsletter, The Messenger, and in the semi-weekly email notifications we send out to the membership. But tonight, I'd like to remind everyone, bingo will return on Monday, October 7th. So for those bingo phobes and bingo queens, look forward to October 7th. Bubby's Bakery will be Sunday, November 24th, and we continue to look for sponsors and volunteers to assist. Sponsorship is $100. Now, this Wednesday, sorry, thank you, Barbara. This Wednesday, they will be baking strudel for Wednesday and Thursday, and volunteers are welcome to come. Please come at 9 o'clock and bring your lunch with you. And I assume that you're making apple strudel. The Women's Book Club for 24-25 schedule is on our website. The office is selling memorial yard-side candles if you should have a need. Anthony Pinto's honey is on sale at the office for $15, and a portion of the sale goes to the temple. Do not forget to bring in food for those in the community who are less fortunate when you come on Fridays, or leave a donation in the tzedakah box. And now, as we move to the conclusion of tonight's service, I invite to the bima our final honorees, Heather and Jonathan. Please reopen your prayer books to page 586 and rise together for Orlenu.
When there's fewer of us, we do a lot.
Yeah, we four, yes.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula li'otzer bereshit, shelo asanu kagoye ha'aratzot, velo zamanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo zam chelkenu kahem, v'god aleinu ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. Please turn to the middle of page 593 of your prayer books. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full, but as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen, yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory, floating faintly into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. Tonight, we recite Kaddish for those serving, we're just reciting Kaddish for those that were observing Yahrzeit tonight. And that is, just bear with me, Edith L. Binder, Rose Blau, Isidore Cohn, Sally Fisher, Pearl Jasquin, Etta Germanic, Alexander Cantor, Harold Kendall, Rose Klein, Maury Lerner, Janine E. Lipset, Samuel Miller, Rose Myers, Richard Rosenfield, Eva Rose Spitt Rothman, Pansy Saltzman, Herbert G. Scheinberg, Aaron Weisberg, Beatrice Wichkina. Is there anyone else observing Yahrzeit, Heather?
My brother-in-law, David Schultz.
Anyone else? Okay, so we please rise and turn to page 598 in our prayer books, page 10 in our satellite Siddur. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divra kirute v'amlich malchute, v'chayichon uvimechon uv'chaye dechal beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman karim v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam lomei amaya, Yitbarach v'it tabach v'it pa'ar v'it roman v'it naseh v'it hadar v'it halel lit halal shemei kedisha berichu le'ela min kol berchata tushirata tushbechata v'nechemata da amiran bi'alma v'imru amen Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Osei shalom b'imrumav Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to the bereaved. And let us say, Amen. To conclude this evening's service, we turn to page 625 in our Mishkan Tefillah, and at home it's page 10. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa v'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora V'hu haya, v'hu hove, v'hu yiyeh, b'tifara, v'hu ech אחד ואין שני, להמשיל לו, להכבירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית. ולא העוז והמזרע, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצורך לי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא בידו, הפקיד רוחי בעת אישן ועיירה, ועם רוחי גבייתי. אדוני לי ולא יירא. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.